And
actually like to hear this meeting. I don't want to hear you gibbering and jabbering. Okay.
sorry. Sorry, say again, I just missed that. Okay, we'll get started, I think. And I need to share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So we're starting with the 15-minute chart on gold. And must remember to look at the news. Again, I forgot all about that yesterday, so we'll try looking at the news. And we've got some European news at 10 o'clock and all day OPEC meetings and some red flag news in the States at 1:15. Look at MyFX book. Pretty much the same. Red flag news in the States, 1:15. Quite a lot of low impact news in the States. And then Australia at 10 o'clock tonight. Okay. So go back to the chart. I'm just looking to see who's on to see whether I need to go through the setup procedure in detail again. No, I don't think so. I think everybody's been with me before. So we're on the 15-minute chart. Excuse me. I've put on the volume profile. Does anybody need me to go through accessing the volume profile again?
No, fine.
No, okay. So this is the bear chart for this morning, and put on the 3 lines. And just move that down a bit. So that's yesterday's point of control. And the second line up there. And the third line there. What you can do if you want to get those absolutely accurate, you can zoom in to that area there and just make sure that you're actually in the right spot. That one's accurate. That one's accurate. And then zoom back out again. Okay, so we're all set. We've now got the yesterday's point of control there. And the 2 dashed lines define the value area. So first thing is we're outside the value area as we stand at the minute. Might be interesting to take a step back and see what's been happening. If we look at the 4-hour chart, I was just looking at this before I came on. You can see that in the last few days, we've had quite a steep drop in price, and then Monday, Tuesday this week, it's actually started to go back up again. And this morning it's dropped back down again. But we may be looking at a sort of a change in trend. It may have, that was definitely a downward trend. We may be looking at an upward trend now. This may well be just a temporary pullback. So just to try and get some idea of where price might be going, that might suggest that once we get into today's trading properly, we might be looking at an increase in price, certainly back to yesterday's point of control, and possibly even back up to that point there, which was an outstanding point of control from last Wednesday, I believe it was. So that just gives us a bit of an idea where we might be going price-wise. Let's just have a look at the Ninja Matrix and the Ninjacator. The Matrix has just changed. It's just changed it up, and then of course the second candle decides to go down, which I've noticed often happens when the Ninja Matrix changes. There's obviously there's quite often a contradictory candle in the first or second candles. Don't know whether anyone else has noticed that, but it seems to happen quite often. So I would think that the price will continue to go up. That's just a temporary, you might call it a correction. And if I put the Ninjacator on, put it on Heikin Ashi, you notice that when you put the Heikin Ashi candles on, the Ninja Matrix changes. So we're still in a downward trend according to the Ninja Matrix under Heikin Ashi, but we have got a Ninja up. So it's slightly contradictory at the minute, but it does look as if price is wanting to go back up and wanting to go back to the point of control. I suspect that's where it's going in the short term. So we take the Heikin Ashi candles off, and you can see we've got a Ninja Matrix up. So slightly contradictory, but if I was to predict what's going to happen, I would think price will go up to this point sometime this morning. Anybody got any questions or comments so far? All quiet.
Notice that your EMAs are starting to close, 5 and 13, so
Yeah,
that's a good sign of an uptrend as well.
yeah, we've got the 5 MA is above the 13 MA.
Yep.
Which has turned to green. So that's looks as if it's going direction. The PSARs are down at the bottom, and there's quite a distance between the candle and the PSAR, which is always a good thing. It's showing good momentum. So it's looking as if it's going upwards. If we've got 1 minute and 18 seconds left of this candle. Let's have a look at the 5 minute, see what that's showing. Now that's showing a slight reversal. We've still got the 5 MA above the 13 MA, but the 5 MA is turning. So we just have to wait and see. We've got, like I say, we've got about 50 seconds left of the current candle. We'll just see what happens with the next candle.
Richard, do you change the settings for the Ninjacator from the 30 minutes to the hour? when you change timeframes?
Not the Ninjacator. No, the one that I do change is the Ninja Matrix.
Sorry, I meant the matrix.
Yeah, the Ninja Matrix. When I'm on the 15-minute chart, I have it set on the 1 hour. If I go to the 5-minute chart, I change it to 30 minutes.
Excellent.
And we'll just see if it makes any difference. That's set on 30 minutes now. I'll change it back to the hour. And it makes no difference in that particular case. But yes, I do. I try to remember to change it backwards and forwards as I'm flicking between 5 minutes and 15-minute charts, just to try and get a more accurate. So where are we now time-wise? Right, we've got a new candle. So on the 15-minute, yeah, we've still got the 5 MA. It's actually above the. It's not only above the 13 MA, but it's also trying very hard to get above the 20 MA. So I would stand by my earlier prediction. I think we're about to head north, and I think the target really would be the point of control. Yesterday's point of control, which is up there. So we'll wait and see. What I thought I should do now is, rather than just stay looking at gold, what I thought I might do is look at a couple of other indices. I'm going to try and broaden out my sessions away. I'm mainly going to stick on gold because I only trade gold, but I think it's only fair to other people to look at other indices and just see how this strategy works. I've been looking at US 30, and if we do the same again, and just take off the matrix and an indicator for Ninjacator for now, and just look at the bear chart. You'll see that there is a difference in the appearance of the volume profile, and that's really just down to the settings. I'll try and get a similar appearance. If we change that to 40. Yeah, that's becoming very similar to what I have on the gold. Now I'm back on 40 there, so you can see what happens when you change the row size. I'll just go back to US 30. There we go. So we've got yesterday's point of control here, and prices up there. Perhaps worth mentioning that the reason we look at yesterday's point of control is because that's fixed. The day's over and that point of control is not going to move at all. Whereas this point of control, today's point of control, it's still developing, so it can shift as price moves around. At the minute, price is rotating around that point of control, but as price changes, as it comes down here, this point of control will come down as well. So that's why we don't use today's point of control, because that's still a movable feast, if you like. So if we were looking at this one and trying to predict where this is going to go, this is yesterday's point of control, which I should mark. And you can see that the value area is where the dark blue is there. And if we just sort of zoom out a little bit and get at the bigger picture, you can see that there is an outstanding point of control below. So that one is from that one is Tuesday, so that one is Monday. So we've got Monday and Tuesday's point of control both outstanding. So and there's nothing close by above and nothing else below. See if we can find anything. No, so those are the only two relevant points of control that we need to think about. So let's put the matrix on. And again, on the 15-minute, we've had a recent ninja down. The candles are going down. We'll put the Ninjacator on. And if I can move you guys out of the way, go to Heikin Ashi candles. So we've had a ninja down at that point. We've now got a ninja matrix down. The 5 MA is below the 13 MA, which has turned from green to red. So we're looking fairly positive for a sell. And if we were to get into a trade, I would take the target, take profit target would be down there. And my stop loss would be just above that pizza. As I say, I've been trading only gold, but I do want to try and expand my portfolio so that we take into account other indices. Jeff reckons that these 12 indices all work very well with the 3-line strategy. So I'm going to start looking at those in more detail in future. But that looks like a pretty good setup. If I was to do my checklist, the only thing I would have a slight hesitation about is the fact that the 5 MA, sorry, the orange line, which is the 20 MA, I would like that to be above the 13, so that with the order would be 5, 13, and 20. But that's not absolutely necessary. So I would say that we, a sell on US 30 at the moment would be a reasonable trade. Let's have a look at another one I've been looking at. I've been looking at German 30, and so this is the point of control here from yesterday. Put it there. There we go. So we're above the point of control. Are we in the field of play? We just we just wicked into the field of play, into the okay, so the current candle is just wicked into our field of play. So again, we're looking like this may be a reasonable setup. We've got the Ninja matrix down. We've got an indicator down. We're on Heikin Ashi candles. We've got the 5 MA below the 13 MA, which is changed from green to red. And again, my only hesitation might be that the 20 MA is sort of stuck in between at the minute. But again, I'm looking at the possibility of a trade to sell to go down to that point there. Now, the only thing I would say about these trades, if you were looking at German 30 or the other one I looked at, the US 30, is you need to test these out on a demo account before you take any live trades, purely and simply because the pip value and lot sizes and broker prices vary significantly. Somebody posted this morning they had a trade on 2 different accounts on the same pair, and there was a massive difference in the value, and that was down to the broker. Well, I think it was down to the leverage difference between the brokers that he was using, but it was quite a significant difference. It was something like, with one broker, the value of a pip was, let's say, $10, and with the other broker it was only $1. Something like that. There was a significant difference. So I would suggest that, what I'm doing is I'm practicing on demo account, and I'm just trying to record for future reference what the pip value is and what the best lot size value is for these other indices. So if anybody's going to take these trades, I suggest you would take them on a demo account, and then just get a feel of what the value is before you go onto a live account. Anybody got any comments on those? Sorry, Alistair, I see you've just joined. I was just looking at a couple of other indices, and just pointing out that a couple of possible potential trades there, but to be careful.
Yeah.
Take them on demo accounts.
Yeah, I'll have a look at the earlier bit I missed. So I can get in for 8:30. So that's great. I'll have a look in a minute.
Yeah. But I mean, we can if we look at, I haven't been looking at NAS as an example, but there we go. If we were looking at that, my first impression would be, well, the point of control from yesterday is down here. Price is currently up there, but price is just rotating. It's just consolidating. So, first impression would be there's no trade to be had there. If we go down the list, some of these indices are very similar to each other, so that this is the same as NAS. US 30 we just looked at, and we think that might be a potential sell down to this point, where the red line is. German 30 was similar. It looks as if it's trying to get down to that point of control. Just one point on German 30. If you're looking for German 30 on your MT4 or on your broker's feed, it sometimes comes up as German 40. They've just changed. Instead of 30 companies on the indices, there are now 40 companies. So you might be looking for German 40, which is sometimes DE30, and on other occasions it's GE30, and it's also known as the DAX, DAX.
Yep.
So let's have a look at US oil, see if there's anything going on there. That was looking as if it was going to go down. In fact, it has. There's yesterday's point in control. It's just gone down and gone through it, and it's gone back up again. UK 100. There's yesterday's point of control. It's rotating around today's point of control at the minute. It's not making any great moves. The PSAR is still below the price, so we would wait until that PSAR goes above, and we'd be waiting for those MAs to separate. They're too close together for my liking at the minute. The France 40, there's yesterday's point of control. It's not doing anything at the minute. So I think this is just down to the time of day. The markets haven't really woken up yet. Isn't it amazing how similar these indices are?
Yeah.
We've seen 5 or 6 of them are all almost identical. The Japanese, same there. We've got a big distance down to yesterday's point of control, but it's still in consolidation. But these are maybe worth watching and seeing what's going on. So I would say out of the 12, did we look at silver? No, we didn't look at silver. Silver tends to be a little bit different, and sure enough, that silver is looking more like a buy. Whereas yesterday's point of control it's actually just about there, isn't it at the minute? So silver is sort of the odd one out. The others are looking like sells. It's like we're in indecision time with that one. That one's looking more like a sell. So again, all I would say is, because of the differences between Forex pairs and indices, you need to test them before you get involved in any live trades.
Yeah.
So let's go back to gold and see where we stand with that one.
Hi, Richard. I was watched Bally last night, and he was on for the NAS and the SPACs and the German and them, and he was all on for buys. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, I missed him last night. I was on a different call, but
you had them all for buys. I mean, the old.
Yeah, I usually watch Barley, and he has a pretty good success rate. So if he says we're going to buy, then I would go for a buy. But
yeah, I would suggest anybody on this morning quickly skip on that and have a look at it. And his charts are good, and it'll marry up well with what you're going through just now.
yes,
Whether he's right or not, I don't know, but yeah.
yeah. Well, he's, as I say, he's got a good track record. He does get some of them wrong, but that's to be expected. Right. Well, gold, as I said, we've still got a ninja matrix telling us that price is going for a buy, and I think I would stick with my initial prediction, which is that this is actually going to go up to yesterday's point of control. We've got the moving averages separating out nicely, and I'll keep an eye on that. But where I would be tempted to get in is if price breaks through this line here, if it gets into the field of play, I would be tempted to get in for a buy up to that point there at least. But I wouldn't get in right now because it could actually go up to that line and bounce off it. So my prediction would be wait until we get into that value area. Wait till a candle is closed within that value area and then get in for a buy.
Yep.
Okay, so anyone got any comments or questions on anything that we've talked about so far?
Sorry, Richard, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yes. Yeah.
Just go on the gold. I'll just get rid of it in a minute. The one that you just mentioned. If we take the stop loss to just below the PSAR, wait until we get into the value area low, and then go to the target.
Yes.
The risk to reward isn't particularly great. What would you sort of advise on that?
Right. Okay. Good question. If I'm going to set a stop loss, you've actually got options. The absolutely safest place is down below that PSAR, but as you say, that's where are we? 94.6. That's about 60 pips, isn't it? Let's just measure that. We're looking at yeah, you're looking at 60 pips, which is probably will probably scare most people off, I guess. I mean, it's not out of the question because you can adjust your lot size, but your risk to reward, as you say, is not that attractive. So my second option for a stop loss, I would be looking at these recent candles here. I mean, you see that the bottom of that wick is sort of below that PSAR, so that is the absolute safest stop loss. Yeah. We're saying it's unlikely to go below there, but there are other areas. You could be looking at this area here, the bottom of that wick, and you might even be looking at the bottom of that candle there, which is a bit less scary. Where are we? So from there up to there, you're looking at 30. So that does improve your risk reward.
Yeah,
it's more or less 1-to-1 from the bottom of there to the target would be about 60 pips, of which 30 pips was stop loss. So it's not ideal, but as Paul keeps saying, a lot of his trades are not great risk to reward, but he does win most of his trades. So that's how he operates. Yeah. And that would be my view with this one. I would say, well, okay, it's not a fantastic risk to reward on this occasion, but it is a fairly safe trade to enter.
I've also noticed that a lot of the trades reach the point of control and then carry on up and keep going and keep going and keep going.
Yes.
You ever tempted to adjust your what do you call it? So your entry level to break even and then just keep moving it? Yes,
I do. Quite often. Once I get into a few pips profit, let me try and think of how I operate. If I got, say, well, I'm going to be absolutely conservative here. If I got to 10 pips in profit, I would certainly move my stop loss to break even, and try and follow it, because I suspect the second target would be up at the top of the field of play. Yeah. So I'll be getting, if and when I get into this trade, which is probably going to be when price gets to that point, I'll have two take profits in mind. One would be the point of control, and the second will be the top of the value area. And because I've got the luxury of being able to sit and watch the trades, I can play it by ear, as it were. But yes, I quite often do. I move my stop loss into up to break even or just above break even, and follow the trade up.
Okay, thank you.
What's happening now is that price is rotating around today's point of control. So it may be a while before it gets up to my entry point. But you know, patience is a virtue. What I could do, if I don't want to sit and watch it, I can. You've seen me do this before. I can put a parallel channel on here, and I can say, okay, we're currently we're sort of rotating around that. I just move that up. We're sort of bouncing around in that area, so I can put an alert on there to bring me back to my screen when it triggers. So I can put tell me when price is exiting that channel, tell me once per bar or once per bar close. I'll go for once per bar. If you've ticked to notify me on the app and you've got the app on your phone, it will alert you on your phone, so you can go about your business and come back once that alert tells you that it's outside the box. Not saying that you would necessarily get into the trade as soon as it jumps outside the box, but it does tell you that things are starting to move. So that will be my plan of attack. I would set the alert. I would go off and have my breakfast and just not sit staring at the chart. Okay, any other questions from anybody? Not necessarily about gold. I'm happy to attempt to answer any questions.
Richard, would you just move that? Would you move the box just up into the field of play line and have that as the top of the channel? Would you do that sometimes?
Yeah, that's an alternative. You know, you can move that up and say, right, you know, don't pester me until it's actually in my field of play. That's equally as good. I think the advantage of leaving it where I had it was that's sort of the extent that it's been fluctuating at the minute. And if it moves outside that box, that's sort of an early warning that it's making a move.
Yeah, probably is better, I think.
However, don't be fooled, because it can go outside that box on a bit of a stop hunt. You know, people will be placing, if people are thinking that price is going to go down, they'll be placing their orders with a stop loss just above there. So it's not unusual for the banks to manipulate price outside that box and then knock price all the way back down again. So the fact that it leaves the box isn't necessarily a signal to get in. It's just like an early warning, just to come back and look at the situation again.
Yeah, Richard, do you ever find that the price, you're waiting for the price to come up to the areas such as this chart, and it shoots from the lower value area to the POC in about sort of 3 or 4 seconds, and you think I've not been quick enough? Do you ever find that?
It does happen occasionally. Yeah, I mean, if we were looking at this chart at 1 o'clock this afternoon, that would be a danger, a real danger. Because at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, if I just put the volume on, if you look at there, which was sort of 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, you just see that wick down there. It's a massive move. So anywhere from, say, 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon to around about there, sort of 4. So between 1 and 4 yesterday afternoon, there was some real big moves, and that one there looks enormous. So if we were looking at this chart at 1 o'clock today, yes, I'd be taking a slightly different view. I'd be saying, it could, if it was still where it is now at 1 o'clock this afternoon, yes, I would be expecting, quite a rapid rise. So I would look at it with that in mind. Because we're looking at it at 9 in the morning UK time, and the volume of orders is pretty low, it's less likely to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point.
Do you look at the volume of orders as an indicator, or I mean, is it really a factor in terms of where the price is going to go?
It's only one indicator. It's how can I put it? It doesn't really tell you a great deal. It tells you what the total volume of orders placed in that in the lifetime of that candle.
Yeah. So
since we're looking at a 15-minute candle, it's only telling me about orders that are being placed. Well, we've just started a new candle, so in the last 30 seconds, there's been very few orders placed, because what it's showing me is that volume is green, so we're looking at mainly buyers, but there's very little volume, and it doesn't tell me at what price those orders are being placed. It's just total volume of orders placed. There's more information from this bit here, which tells me that most of the orders placed today so far have been at that price, which is 1798.55. And what the blue and the yellow tells me is the blues are buyers and the yellows are sellers. So that information is slightly more useful to me than that volume information.
Yeah.
But it is worth, I do look at it, because as you can see there, there's a pretty good indication of an increase in volume, a spike in volume up to there, and then a drop off, and then very low volume all day today. It's increased a little bit at that point there, and there was some movement surrounding that. But yeah, I do use it, but I don't absolutely rely on it, other than it's just an indicator. It's just an indication of the level of volumes being placed.
Yeah.
So the level of orders being placed, but it doesn't tell me what the orders are. It doesn't tell me if they're pending orders or market execution orders.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Richard. Thank you.
Okay. So we're still rotating. We've got a Ninja Matrix up. We've got a Ninja up. I'll just check it on the Heikin Ashi candles again. Yeah, well, there again, when we looked previously on the Heikin Ashi candles, we were still on a red Ninja Matrix, but we've now got a matrix up on the Heikin Ashi candles as well as on the normal candles. So all the signs are looking good. It's heading north. There was a bit of a quick move just then. So we might be getting out of the box any minute now. Certainly, where are we time-wise? Yeah, we're 11 minutes left on this candle. So there's a chance that even on this candle, we might get out of that parallel channel, and we might have to rethink. But no point in rushing in. Okay, so it's all quiet. Is everybody satisfied with what we've done so far? And if so,
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's all good, mate.
okay. Well, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to, there we are, we've left the channel. It's just popped its head above the parapet. So, I've got the alarm. I'm going to sit and watch that that move, and when it ideally, if let's say if a 5-minute candle closes outside that box, I might be if a 5-minute candle closes above that line, that dashed line, I'd be seriously thinking about getting into a trade. You can see we've got a bit more volume than we had before on the bottom.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to pop out like a tortoise, mate.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that your parallel box there? Is that based on yesterday's or the other day's what's the name, like, you know, the value range area, etc. POT.
No, what that represents
Oh,
is
is this today? Oh, this is today. Is this today's one?
this is today's, and all I was doing was I noticed that price had begun to.
Yeah, that's right.
Very-
Sorry, I got a bit mixed up. Yeah, because I know you do the parallel box on like the present day's
That's right. Yeah.
thing,
Okay.
whereas obviously it's going up to yesterday's one, which is up the top a bit further. Yeah, sorry.
That's
I
right.
just got
Yeah.
a bit confused for a minute, mate. Sorry.
Yeah.
But it
No.
does look like it's going to make that move.
Yes, it's well, we've got a new 5-minute candle, and that's just broken through the line. So the way I would sort of take a careful look at this, and I would say, okay, if I get if this candle closes above that line, I'm probably going to get in for a buy. Just to review, we've got a Ninja Matrix up, we've got a Ninja up, we've got the 5-minute move. So the 5 moving average is moving away from the 13. The 13 is green,
Yeah.
and the 13 is above the 20. So that's an
Sorry,
idea.
can you just look at what it's like on the 15-minute, please?
Yeah, sure.
Just to have a little view.
Yeah, that's a 15-minute, and as you can see, it's
Well, it's wicked above it, isn't it? So
Yeah.
above your line.
wicked above it, but it's retraced. It's gone back.
Yeah.
It's sucking back down the pipe at the minute. So as I said, the fact that it's gone above my parallel line may mean that they're on a stop hunt. They may be taking out stop losses from people who are thinking, well, it's going to go down, so I'll set my stop loss above that. So that's the first thing to be aware of. Don't be too eager to get in, because that can happen.
No, with that, I would be inclined to put my stop loss just below the your money line, just below that big green candle.
Yeah.
To the left a little.
That one there. That one there.
Yeah, that one there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would put my stop loss just below that, so it gives you
Yeah.
enough to play with. But obviously, you know, you need with gold, you need to sort out the lot size, because it's quite a lot bigger than other normal pairs,
That's right. Yeah.
which has screwed me up in the past.
Yeah. What I'll do, just to confirm what you've just said, I'll go to position size calculator, and I'll do the lot size calculation for you. I'm sure you've seen me do this before, but we'll just do it one more time. So we type in XAU USD. I trade in British pounds, whatever your account size is, but let's say $20,000 or £20,000. You want to risk 1%, and you want to have a 30 pip stop loss. And this is the key thing: you have to change this trade size. The trade size, for whatever reason, is wrong. So you need to put it. You need to change that to 0.01.
Is that the same with the other indices, Rich? I know it is with gold, but I can't remember if that's the same with the others like silver.
Well, as I was saying a few minutes ago, you need to check for yourself. You need to check on a demo account, and just check. Individual indices will probably vary from one to the other. So I'm strongly suggesting that before you take any trade, you test it out on a demo account first, because I mean the gold certainly you need to change that value to get an accurate reading. So if I was going for a 30 pip stop loss, my lot size would be 0.9, and that would make sure that I didn't lose any more than 1%. But as I say, you don't have the luxury of indices on this position size calculator. You can check gold and you can check silver, but you
Yeah.
can't check the indices.
No, that's all right. I wasn't sure about. That's fair enough, mate. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. There is on that subject. Actually, the price is sucking back now. Look, it's a good job we didn't jump in.
That's on the 15-minute, isn't it? I mean, it might look different on the 5 minutes. So
Yeah, it's still going backwards. There we go. That's a 5 minute chart, and it's popped its head out the door, out the parapet, over the parapet, and it's
yeah, it's still a little bit volatile at the moment.
yeah.
Top
Yeah.
of that wick, top of that last green candle wick
Yeah,
is actually within a pip of yesterday's value area low.
yes, that's correct. Yeah,
Mm,
that dashed line is the yesterday's value area low there. So
mm.
it's heading in the right direction, but it's just playing around at the minute. I suspect, say that nobody knows, but I suspect that was a bit of a stop hunt. They were taking out stop losses where people were. If you look at the bigger chart, that's perhaps too much. We've been going down. Price has been going down, and people may be placing trades, thinking on the basis that they think price is going to continue going down, and therefore they will have a stop loss up there above that value. So that it's not for sure, but it's likely that the banks have just been out up there on a bit of a stop hunt.
Yeah.
But we talked about. I said earlier I wouldn't necessarily get in that trade until a candle has actually closed above that line, just to avoid getting caught out there.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of time. Price does what it does. We just have to sit and wait until they make the move.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, how I use that position size calculator, which I found on my FX book. There is another position size calculator somewhere online, which I found and I promptly lost it, which does actually include indices. So you'll be able to make those calculations, and what I'll do is I'll try and find it, and if I do find it, I'll post it in the group. I found I could get more accurate lot sizes by using that calculator.
Yeah.
So look out for a post. I'll look for it today, and I'll when I do find it, I'll post it. So there we are. Gold's looking promising, but just be careful, don't get in too early. You've got something like 30 pips up to yesterday's point of control.
Yeah.
20, 27, 28 pips. So no need to be in too much of a rush to get in. If you get in above that line, there's still more than 20 pips to be had. So we'll wait and see. Any more questions? And if not, I'm going to go and make myself a cup of coffee and sit and wait until this price gets to where I want it to be.
No, that's all good, mate. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Richard.
Thanks very much indeed. Thanks for
Thanks,
popping
Richard.
on. And
Been
I'll
great.
see you next time.
Cheers, Rich.
Cheers.
Thanks, Rich. Ta-da.
Bye.